In a world where the storm comes uninvited and the waves of the ocean underrated. A world so full of power, yet you can be powerless. A world where the essence of your existence can be questioned. A world where good and evil coexist. A world where the life that you were given isn't by your choice. A world where you have to be strong even in the midst of weakness. A world full of unseen wars and warriors, yet you stood out, you survived, you fought and you won because you are resolute, you are unafraid, you are fearless, and of course you are undaunted.
Dr. Sunday Abodunrin. Meet Dr. Sunday Abodunrin. He is a lecturer in the Department of Special Education in the University of Ibadan, Oyo State. He is visually impaired but has managed to bag MSc, BSc, and PhD degrees. He wasn't born blind. He was partially blind, then eventually became fully blind. He takes us through his journey as he tries to make a living and survive as a young bachelor and as a blind lecturer. He is undaunted.
I am Dr. Sunday Abodunrin, a native of Okuku, in the local government of Osun State. I was born into the family of Evangelist and Mrs. J.O. Abodunrin in about 41 years ago. I started my elementary school at St. Michael Anglican School, Okuku, after which I proceeded to Undaunted Grammar School, Okuku, for my secondary school program. So after 2 years of graduating from secondary school, I proceeded to Federal College of Education, Special Oyo, where I was bagged with national certificate in education for the visual impairment and Christian religious study. So after my NCE program, I proceeded into University of Ibadan for my first degree, after which I was bagged with second class upper division, and after this I entered into the same university for my master's degree, and I was bagged with a PhD grade, proceed to PhD straight. Then after my master's degree program, I started my PhD program immediately, Doctor of Philosophy, and in the year 2016 I completed the program and I was awarded Doctor of Philosophy in Special Education. How the issue of my visual impairment started, according to my parents, I was told it was discovered when I was 4 years old, and I was asked to go to a hospital at Kano, where the surgical operation was conducted and it was successful. So I was using one of my eye, which is the left eye, throughout my primary school, secondary school, till I finished my NCE program. Before I had a terrible illness in the year that was 2004, which led to the loss of the second eye, which I'm using to do things by myself. Then I was able to continue with my degree program, the first degree, master's degree, PhD, due to the fact that I was exposed to braille reading and writing and typewriting when I was in NCE, and the kind of people that I do assist when I was in NCE, some of them are visually impaired. I have them as lecturer then I have them as friends too. So I used to be the one that in most cases always help them. Like my lecturer, I'll be the one that will go to her house, bring her to school. After the closing hour, I will take her back to her home. So when the issue of total blindness came up, I was not disturbed. Then my parents too and my siblings, they are very supportive in terms of helping me to do recordings, because since the issue of total blindness has set in, what I'm using the eye to do before, I can no longer do it because I use my hands to write and read the written aspect. So I have to give it to, I have no choice that to, address to what is on ground. So the issue of using the eye to read again, as I said earlier on, is no longer in existence again. So I depend solely on recordings during my degree days. I will collect notes from my friends, make photocopy, take it back home, give it to a brother. His name was Oyinlola, so he was the one that used to help me do the recordings. So I didn't allow the issue of visual impairments to disturb my program at all. I've never for once been disturbed by the condition, because the impaired vision does not stop me from becoming what I want to become. Though what someone wants to achieve in 2 minutes, supposing he is not visually impaired, by the time he or she became someone who can no longer make use of his or her sight again, definitely to be multiplied by 3, that is 6 minutes. That is the only thing I can say. It's one of the obstacles that persons with visual impairment are likely to face, because what you can do in 1 minute when you are not visually impaired, it will take more time to do it. Being visually impaired or having one disability or the other, you cannot rule it out because challenges will come, frustration will come. Among those challenges that I faced, let me begin with the issue of how to get a job. After all, I had a second class upper, which is one of the second grade in Nigeria. The first one was at the university was first class, followed by second class upper. Nothing should stop me from getting job as I due to with that kind of certificate. Also at my master's degree program, I had PhD grade, which is equivalent to first class at the first degree. When the issue of getting job started, I faced a lot of challenges, a lot. Among those were when I went for an interview at Osun State University. They had a program there called Doctoral Staff Training Program. That program is meant for if you are a PhD student or you are doing your masters, the school will be the one that will be financing your educational expenses, as well as responsible for paying, giving you some token. So I submitted my CV. The coordinator then was Professor Adedoye. He was the former Vice Chancellor of Crawford University in Besa. He's now late. When I submitted my credential, the man said, yes, wow. The man was very highly excited, because with this condition and you have this result, you are still doing your PhD, didn't allow the condition to weigh you down. Don't worry, we are going to pick you as one of our doctoral students. So I got a message that I should come down to their campus at Kwetu Jesha. That is where their College of Education, their education campus was. When I got there, I was called in. So they are asking me questions, even questions that has nothing to do with what I came for. I was not disturbed because I see it as part of interview. Their provost then, Professor Fawole, I don't know his initial, he started asking me questions like, if we employ you, are you going to lecture, are you going to cope? I answered them. if you are giving science courses, how are you going to do it? I said, no problem. If once the course has nothing to do with chemicals, I will handle it perfectly. And even if it has to do with chemicals, since they are lab attendants, no problem about that. He said, the car that brought you here, are you the owner? I said, no. Those people that came with you, are they your, who are they to you? I told them they are my siblings. If they are with me, I will go. If they are not, I will go. After all, they will not be the one that will take me to the lecture hall. My own is to prepare myself, get myself ready before going to class. And when I get to class, I will discharge, I would lecture the students. Then I will dictate, because I do even the job I'm doing now, because I'm a lecturer in the Department of Special Education, lecturer too, in the Department Faculty of the University of Ibadan. I'll get myself prepared before going to the class. When I go to the class, I will lecture them. When it gets to the time of copying their notes, I will dictate it to them. So I told them that in a situation whereby the time does not permit me to dictate all what I need to be dictated, I will give my lecture notes to them to make photocopy. So no problem. So on my way back, I have to see the coordinator in charge of that doctoral staff training program, Professor Adedoyi. When I got to his office, the man told me, Hadimbi, I know that you go for that interactive. I shouldn't have allowed you to go. I said, don't worry. We have a reason. There is a reason. We have a purpose for accepting your credential. And don't worry, you are going to be picked as one of our doctoral trainee. So the man that introduced me to Professor Adedoyi is now professor. He's working with the Federal University of Yekiti. He's now Professor Atere. I branch at his office. So he now told me that I was interactive. I said, well, everything was okay. But the question they're asking me, they are somehow to me. So he now picked his call in my presence there. He called the provost. So I didn't hear what the provost was saying. But with the man's responses, I know that something is wrong somewhere. Because in my head, the man saying, but sir, let's continue training him. I heard that word. So when the man finished with him, he dropped his phone. I said, well, Sunday, don't worry. We are going to take the matter from the top. And he asked me, do you know where is the top? I said, sir, I don't know. He said, God. Another challenge that also came on board, like it came in contact with, occurred when I went for an interview at Kwara State University then. That was 2012, 2013. We are asked to prepare something like a seminar paper. I prepared my seminar material. I went into the interview room. I was given 15 minutes. After that 15 minutes, he started asking me questions, of which I responded well. You'll be wondering when I say, while I'm saying I responded well. Because after the program, I was asked to go out waiting for their final remark. So where I am standing, the registrar representative came to me. He had a handshake with me and said, well done, bro. Even if we are going to pick anybody, we are going to pick a person for this post, you will be the one. But just keep it to yourself, don't worry. I said, thank you. So I left that place. They said we should wait for the VC, that we are going to have another interactive with the Vice Chancellor. I said, well, no problem. Since I scaled through the first stage, second stage won't be a difficult thing. So after some weeks, we were invited. Getting to the VC office, he started asking us questions. When it gets to my turn, he said, why do you think I should employ you? I said, well, according to the slogan of the university, the objective of the university is developing the community which the school is being situated. I said, well, as a visually impaired person, having this, having that, I was talking about my degree and what I had and everything. People living in this community will know that having a child or children with one disability or the other they shouldn't see it as a barrier to them. Rather, my physical contact or my appearance seeing me, they will see it as, well, since I have a child, I have seen somebody that with this condition that attain this level in terms of educational distance. My own child can also do the same thing. The man responded by saying, is it because you are visually impaired that is why you want me to employ you? I said, no, sir. It's part of those things because you said, why do you think I should employ you? And my responses has to do with the objective of the universities, of your university. I said, well, he didn't say anything. So I left his office that day. After some days or months, I got to know that they've employed another person. Then I now went to his office. Somebody gave me a letter. The vice chancellor of Osun University then, Professor Okeshina, he gave me a note to the VC's Kwasi University. And I got to his office. I gave him the note. Later, he said, well, not that we did not want to employ you, but we have a reason for employing the person that we picked. And you have started your PhD program, and if you say we should stop it, you may not want to do that. I know that you didn't want to pick me because of my condition. I said, well, God knows the best. And here I am today, through the effort of God and the support of my the incumbent Vice Chancellor, Professor Professor Idowu Olayinka. I was employed as a lecturer in the Department of Social Education, Faculty of University of Ibadan, and also through the support of my HOD, person of Dr. Oye Fakolade and other academic staff. When I was asked to come and do the presentation, I told you that before you can fit in for any lecturer appointment in the university, you will need to do some presentation. I did a presentation. I was scored. One of the panel of interviewers, they told me that I scored 86, which is the first highest mark so far in the faculty. And after some months, I was invited for the second interview. And that was if I can remember the date, that was last year, October 5, I think. And thank God, I was picked and they gave me an appointment as lecturer too in the department. My relationship with my students, I cannot rate myself, but it's good. They have just started lecturing them, but from what I can see or perceive, they were so excited because all my notes I dictated to them. So some of them, they were amazed. Even when I'm when I'm going out within the faculty, there was a time that they were saying it, they didn't know that I was able to hear them. But I cannot see you. And he's going without using cane, without anybody following him. So my relationship with the students in the department, in the faculty, is good. I am single, not married. Not married is not as a result of my disability. But I thought, because in Yoruba they used to say, Ati feyawo ko tejo owo bere, that is, marrying a wife is not a difficult thing, but getting funds to finance your home is the most important thing that needs to be considered. So I thought when I get a job, I will have some things to put down as a man, as a husband in the house. Not that my wife will be the one that will be financing the home for me. So I had relationship, and not, as people used to say, not every relationship works. So I believe what happened to the aborted, well, permit me to use the word aborted relationship, came due to the fact that maybe she's not mine, because we were courting for almost less than 2 years, and when I was about to know her parents, they said I will need a letter from my church pastor, and I took it to their church pastor, and they collected it from me. I was directed to their marriage committee, and that was the last time I heard from them, even from the sister. The reason that led to that, I don't know. Maybe because as a result of my condition, or due to the fact that I didn't have job then. Well, I can say I never thought of that in terms of that aborted relationship that I told you. I know everything because the lady agreed to marry me. But what happened, I don't know. I never bothered myself in finding out from her or from anybody. Maybe it's a result of the church doctrine, or they convince her that how are you going to marry a blind person? Because according to what she told me, she said, one of their pastors told me that, if you marry him now, every responsibility will be on your head. Those that are helping him in going to school, in doing this, they will not do it again. And according to her, she said she told the man that she will cope. You should just pray for her that everything will going on smoothly with the help of God. But there is no way at times when you want to do something that you have been doing before by yourself, and along the line you are unable to do it again. At times you will be discouraged. But I didn't allow that discouragement to debar me from achieving what I have in mind to achieve. My advice to those that are watching me or hearing me in different parts of this world: one, to the parents, having a child or children with visual impairment or with one disability or the other does not mean that such a child cannot make it in life. I became totally blind before I started my degree program, and all that I achieved in terms of academics, I achieved it after my visual impairment. It was after being totally blind that I had my first degree, second degree, third degree, which is PhD, which earned me a Doctor of Philosophy. And to those that are visually impaired, whether acquired or congenital, what I mean by acquired or congenital is a terminology used in special education. Congenital means those that are born with the condition. And those that acquired it, we also call them adventitious. That is, they came in contact when on their way in life. They should see themselves as someone who can make it in life. Though there are odds and difficulties, but if they have the courage that what those that are not visually impaired can do, I also can do it. And they cannot do it alone. They need the support of their parents. They need the support of the society. The society themselves should see this individual with one disability or the other as part of them. As part of them, though they are minority. No one prays for such. No one prays for such. Those that are visually impaired today, especially those that acquire the condition, they are sighted before. So they should see them as part of the society. To the government of the federation, whether state, local, or at the central level, they should treat us well. The reason why I'm using us is that I was one of them, because my experiences when I was looking for job as a visually impaired, as a PhD holder, I faced a lot. I saw hell. I could remember I came from Osun State. I sent a letter to the governor, waiting for his responses, nothing. Somebody advised me that I should send another letter to his wife. I went to her office. The secretary, the person that I met there, told me, if you want Mama to do anything for you, the present governor of Osun State, Ogbeni Rauf Adeshola Aregbesola, I went to her office, to his wife's office. The person that attended to me said, if you want Mama to do anything for you, put it into writing. I said, well, to fulfill all righteousness, let me do it as she said. I sent a letter to her office, waiting for their response or for her responses. After waiting for so long, I walked down by myself, together with those that accompanied me to her office. When I got there, the woman I met there said, Mama has not responded. I said, I was not depressed. I wrote a letter to the deputy governor, Mrs. Titi Lawi, thinking that at least if the governor didn't see my letter, his wife did not respond in as I expected. Being the deputy governor and the commissioner for education, then he should be able to come into my head. So I was pursuing the letter from my office down to the last stage. And when I got to the last stage, the schedule officer told me that, do you know what the deputy governor wrote on this letter? They said that we should kindly file. That man was depressed. He said, why kindly file with this certificate? Why not kindly treat? I said, well, sir, don't bother yourself. We are all human beings. That is how they want it. So I left their office, and since that time, I never bother myself to writing letter to them. So the government of the country, they should treat people with disability very well. The way we are being treated in this country, we are not like that in the developed country. Those are people with disability, they give them salary. They even have opportunity to certain amenities like free accommodation and all the rest. But in Nigeria, once you are disabled, you don't become your family load. And you shouldn't be. We have some of us who are lawyers, who are successful bankers. They should see us as someone who can contribute our own quota to the development of this country. I am Dr. Sunday Abodunrin, a lecturer too in the Department of Special Education, Faculty of Education, University of Ibadan. I am undaunted.